that they were telling me, we've done this before and we're going to do it again.
Anyway, I asked them if they had music, and he says that in essence, of course. He does something and pushes a button or does something, but anyway, all of a sudden, this beautiful, beautiful, beautiful music starts playing, and the wall lights up in time with the music. I'm not a musician. I'll try to describe this as best as I can. Like instead of having one melody, there were actually many melodies. It started out as a melody, it would go afar, and then suddenly the melody would split into like an amoeba. You'd have two melodies, they'd go afar, and it would split again, and there would be four. This unbelievable interweaving tapestry of these melodies where the notes of one melody would interlock with part of one of the others, and vice versa. And I'm not sure how long I stood there listening to that. But anyway, eventually they said, it's time to go, you need to go. Or we need to go. And I did not want to because it was the experience of a lifetime. I was trying to absorb this routine and keep it. Of course, music's ephemeral. And I wanted to make it last as long as possible. I was deeply saddened the fact that I knew I would never hear music this beautiful again. And so I ignored them. I basically stood there and listened. And they asked me again, and I still refused. And all of a sudden my body physically just turned around and left the room, out of my own volition. But I remember just the fact that my body physically turned around, and I had nothing at all to do with it. That was it, and I think we went into the total examination that I'll tell you about later. But first, one other thing, the last thing that I remember, and probably the thing that made me so traumatic, is that while we're standing there communicating and talking, I started to formulate the question, well, what happens to us after we die?
Lights out in UFO. I've heard of a UFO, and it's best was Too Hot to Handle by Peter Way and Log. Oh man, just another suicide.
Visitors from space are routinely examining human specimens, abducting men, women, and children.
And the smaller ones, which they said were watchers, were about 3 to 5 feet tall, had very large heads, gray skin, and had very large black eyes. I was later told by the elders that these gray watchers were their remote imaging surrogates, and they were connected to them through bioelectric mind projection.
I said, listen, this stuff cannot have happened. You know, I must have some sort of distorted mind that concocted all of this or something. I don't accept this.
It's a Zadu. It's a planet far, far away with shadows. Have you heard of the shadows? They're here. Yes, they're here. With Centauri Prime, Non, Minbari Homeworld, Orlon, and of course, Babylon 5.
Back to sleep.
I've been abducted by the coffee-colored creatures, the off-white colored creatures, and instead of bringing me all the way back home, they dropped me off in a field. And while I was standing out there, feeling as if I'd been programmed, thinking, I've got to get back home, a helicopter landed in front of me. And men wearing green fatigues and carrying big black machine guns jumped out of the helicopter and surrounded me. I struggled with them, but to no avail. Uttered a few expletives because I didn't like being captured like that. There was a man with them. The man was wearing an Air Force Blue uniform. He seemed to be the one who was in charge of the situation. I don't remember the others talking. I remembered only the guy in the Air Force Blues talking, and I asked them what they were doing with me, why they were grabbing me, and he told me that I was a troublemaker and they were going to have to shut me up.
Troublemaker?
Mm-hmm. I didn't remember causing them any trouble. The only thing that I can think of that I might have done at that point in time was that I had written the letters to Bud Hopkins, and I had called John Carpenter at that time. It was before I underwent any regression, but I had made the appointment to do so. That's the only trouble I can figure out I must have caused, that I might have caused them.
On the third, when you were raped, when you were mugged, even if you don't see that person that is doing you bodily harm, you have somewhere to go. You can go to the police and at least give a report whether they do something or not. You have somewhere to go. But in this case, you have no one to talk to. You have no one to say, this has happened to me, I've been so violated, you don't even know.
I started to formulate the question, well, what happens to us after we die?
You don't even know.
And at that point, we made eye contact. I was looking into two very black pools. There were these yellow concentric rings in the eye that basically I just kind of fell into. It was like I was suddenly looking at something that was thousands of years old. Great age, maybe possessing great wisdom, but like I was suddenly looking into the eyes of a being that was thousands of years old. And it was like, well, at that point I felt myself leaving my body. I had an out-of-body experience, or at least came halfway out. I'm not sure. It felt like I came halfway out. I was frightened because I thought I was dying.
There's violence. There's a violation of your
And I
body.
panicked and thought it. My recollection is at the end of that experience,
On the third, when you were raped, when you were mugged,
that we went on,
even if you don't
was in
see
there
that
at that point. There's a gap.
and doing you bodily
But,
harm, you have somewhere to go. You can
of
go
course,
to the police
who was
and
one of the
report
people I
whether
read
they
on
do
the
something
literature
or not.
says
You have somewhere to go. But
that,
in
in
this
fact,
case,
that most,
you have no one to
many of
talk
them
to. You have
continue
no one to say,
aborted
this has happened to me, I've
out-of-body
been so
experiences
violated,
that actually
and you don't even know.
it may be
And you're not ready.
maybe a device they use. The actual meat of the abduction occurs between the death and out-of-body experience. What am I? It's a false memory. And in fact, there was a total out-of-body experience. Other things happening. I don't know, but I just explained how I perceived it.
Because it was so fantastic what I was going through. And in the very beginning, I was very fearful of it. And one of the investigators came to me and said, I wanted to stop because it seemed like science fiction. And he pleaded with me not to stop because He wasn't supposed to say anything, but much of what I was experiencing was happening to people worldwide, and I had no knowledge of the UFO phenomena at the time.
Everything went out, and it's terrifying. It's not
In order to
fun.
conduct disturbing biological experiments, very, very few people who've had the experience are willing to talk about it publicly. There is such a kind of ridicule factor. The most important thing about this, I think, in studying it, is to realize that there are very distinct patterns.
That we were taken out of our bedroom and up into a craft, and at that point, a very unusual thing happened where I turned into a light being, and there were other light beings there. And at that point, Bob was taken on another side of the craft, and I could see him. There were two elders standing side by side on both sides of him, and they took him into another room. And this time, when we went under regressive hypnosis, Bob recalled certain information, and there were messages in that he might be able to tell you.
This was the particular incident that made me open my eyes to the spiritual aspect of the whole phenomenon, because I saw, I did see that he changed into
There is such a kind of ridicule factor.
And my experiences go back to when I was very, very young. I think the first one that I really have any recall of, I was lying in a crib looking through the bars of this yellow crib at a being standing in the room staring at me.
There is such a kind of ridicule factor.
The first one that I really have any recall of,
this, I think, in studying it, is to realize that there are very distinct patterns.
I was lying in a crib looking through the bars of this yellow crib at a being standing in the room staring at me.
And it's terrifying. It's not fun. It ruins your life because you have nowhere to go. Twinkle, twinkle, little star, how I wonder where you are. Up above the world so high, up beside you. It's easy to remember.
I spoke out loud against the world. They're sending me to the creepy room with some chemistry in fear because my mind's out to me. I'm cold discomfort. I dare the monster in the creepy room. He don't look like my eyes. He says they look like wounds. The monster screams for hunger. Don't know. No one can hear you scream in the creepy room.
It's a violation of your body. It's a violation of your space. They ask permission. They take you on your person when you are raped, when you are mugged. Even if you don't see that person that is doing you bodily harm, you have somewhere to go. You can go to the police and at least give a report.
So it's really kind of hard to pinpoint the very beginning of it. But my family does so generationally that most people who have abduction experiences find that runs to them also. It tends to be generational among his family.
My love life was
I'm usually picked up from my home, usually in my bedroom. Generally, I'm woken up somehow. Sometimes they like to pull my hair or say my name, and I wake up, and I find that the room has, usually there's a bluish, almost an electric powder blue. I know it's hard to explain the color, light in the room, and I was periods of being terrified of what's going on, of not understanding why this is happening to me or how this is happening to me. I had periods in my life where I was so terrified to even open my eyes at night, because if I woke up in the middle of the night, I thought to myself, my God, they're here, and I would close my eyes really tight and hope that nothing happens. And
it's not just a box full of crazy experiences which are mutually contradictory.
well, generally there's usually a beam of light coming from the craft. And I can't say that I remember this every single time I'm picked up, but I do remember it quite often. The craft is usually somewhere around the area. The beam of light that comes into the room attaches to the craft, and when you step into the beam of light, you just sort of float towards it, and you float relatively quickly. You pass through solid objects, and I know that's hard to believe, but you just pass right through walls and windows, and you appear in the craft, standing on a piece of the floor that seems to close up underneath you.
The pattern starts this way. People are abducted first in childhood.
When I go back in my memory, I don't know a day without them.
And they are re-abducted over many, many, many years.
When I saw this light on the freeway, my first reaction was, oh my God, not again. I grabbed the side of my bed like, no, you're not gonna get away with it. You're not gonna get away with it this time.
And then I feel lifted off of the bed, and the next thing that I remember is being on a table or a bench and being surrounding me. Samples are taken from the skin, and there are some very distinct scars that result from these biopsies, whatever you want to call them.
I have a scar on my hand. It seems to be a triangle shape that's a half an inch by half an inch if you were to measure it.
They're just red and blistery and kind of in a large equilateral triangle on each foot. The basic, most common mark is what we call a scoop mark. It's a circular depression, as if the aliens have used a little tool and removed a layer of cells. On my upper left inner thigh, I have two marks. There's a series of two. They're about 1/8 of an inch deep and about 1/4 inch in diameter, that people call scoop marks, for lack of a better term. Often an object is inserted in the nostril, or behind the eyeball or in the ear, which we believe to be implants.
The last thing I remembered was passing out in that truck. I remembered some of this consciously and some under the aid of hypnosis.
All right.
I was in one of those alien craft that chalky-colored off-white creatures looking out of portholes after they had finished their medical experiment, and there was water below. It looked like the ocean. I remembered seeing a military vessel below us, and as I was looking at the porthole, I felt a jolt and fell back and hit my head on something. When I came to, I crawled out an opening of the craft onto the sand, so I was on a beach. The craft was tilted sideways on the beach, and there was a lot of military activity going on. I heard helicopters and airplanes flying overhead. I saw a man wearing a gas mask with one of those creatures strung across his shoulder. The creature was still alive at that point. I was taken out to a ship via a lifeboat, and I got the impression that a helicopter was about to land and take that alien that I saw away. When I got out to the military ship on the ocean, climbed up on the deck, and there was one creature sprawled out on the deck of the ship, and he was still alive. At that point in time, it was like right at first light, right at dawn.
Yes.
The water was green and calm. I remembered the sparseness of the sea oats. I remember the shape of the sand dunes. There aren't many places in the United States that have sand that white. I didn't see any buildings in sight. It was a deserted area.
How about foliage, trees? Was it tropical, subtropical?
No, it wasn't. It looked like the area around Gulf Breeze, Florida. And I sensed And we don't have enough time to go into everything, but I've since had some clues that the crash did occur in the Gulf, or near the Gulf Breeze area, and I have since gone down there investigating, and the area did look consistent with what I had remembered about the crash site. And there's an Air Force base down there, Eglin Air Force Base.
That's right.
Just east of Gulf Breeze. And I and Donald Ware and Bob Reed, who are retired military people, we walked on that Air Force Base on the southern end of it, 13 miles from Navarre Beach to Fort Walton Beach. And that area did look consistent with the crash site.
Twinkle, twinkle, little star. How I wonder what you are.